So, I'm sitting on a ridiculously comfortable lounge chair, overlooking a perfect Hawaiian beach, sipping a Mai Tai that cost more than my first ever concert ticket. My phone buzzes. It's an Instagram notification. A picture from my now ex-boyfriend, Liam. He's standing there, arms slung around his best friend, Chloe, with the exact same pristine, white sand beach in the background. They're both giving these cheesy, triumphant smiles. The caption? Wish you were here. I took a slow sip of my drink, letting the pineapple and rum burn just a little on the way down. Then I switched to my camera, zoomed in on the presidential suite balcony of the five-star resort we were supposed to be staying in, and snapped a picture of my own feet propped up on the railing. I sent it to him. My caption? I am. Oh, but it gets better. So much better. You see, what Liam and Chloe didn't know as they stood there posing for their little victory photo was that they were about to be escorted off this very property by two very large security guards. And the credit card they were counting on for this entire trip? Yeah, that had just been canceled for fraudulent activity. My fraudulent activity, to be exact. Let me tell you how we got here. It all started, as these things so often do, with a relationship that was mostly perfect, except for one, 5'4", perpetually helpless, manipulative little gremlin named Chloe. When I met Liam 3 years ago, he was brilliant, funny, and kind. He was also a package deal. Me and Chloe, he'd say, we're a team. Since kindergarten. And for the first year, I really, truly tried. I invited her to brunch. I asked for her advice on Liam's birthday gift. I listened to hours of her rambling on about her terrible ex-boyfriends and her dramatic, nonsensical workplace feuds. But Chloe didn't want me as a friend. She wanted me as an audience. Or better yet, gone entirely. She had this way of making me feel like an outsider in my own relationship. It was 1,000 tiny cuts. We'd be watching a movie, and she'd lean over to Liam and whisper an inside joke, and they'd both start cackling while I sat there smiling, pretending I wasn't completely lost. Or she'd accidentally call him by the pet name his high school girlfriend used, then cover her mouth with a gasp. Oh my God, I am so sorry, Anna. It's just, you guys have been together for so long, sometimes I forget you're not Jessica. We had been together for 2 years at that point. He hadn't dated Jessica in almost a decade. Every time I'd bring it up to Liam, gently, he'd get this pained look on his face. Babe, that's just Chloe. She doesn't have a filter. Or the classic, she's just very protective of me. It takes her a while to warm up to people. A while? It had been 3 years. The Arctic Circle warms up faster than Chloe. But I loved him. And this was the price of admission. So I paid it. I smiled through the passive-aggressive comments, ignored the late-night, emergency phone calls about her car making a weird noise, and pretended not to notice when she'd show up at our apartment wearing one of Liam's old university hoodies. The breaking point, the beginning of the end, was our anniversary trip. Our 3-year. This was a big deal. We'd been saving for it for over a year. A 10-day trip to a luxury resort in Kauai. We spent months planning it, picking out restaurants, booking snorkeling trips. It was meant to be our trip. A celebration of us. About a month before we were due to leave, we were having dinner when Liam put his fork down and gave me that look. The one that said he was about to ask for something stupid and already knew it. So he started, I was talking to Chloe today. Her and what's-his-name just broke up. She's, like, super devastated. I just stared at him. Okay. Well, I was just thinking, she's never been to Hawaii. And she could really use a getaway to clear her head. Maybe she could tag along. I honestly thought he was joking. I waited for the punchline, but his face remained hopeful and serious. The silence stretched until it was painfully awkward. Liam, I said slowly, trying to keep my voice even. You cannot be serious. It's our anniversary trip. I know. And it will be. But, the room has a pull-out sofa. She could just crash with us. It wouldn't change anything. She'd probably do her own thing most of the time anyway. I have never, in my life, heard a more obvious lie. Chloe doing her own thing? Chloe would be surgically attached to Liam's hip the entire time. I'd be the one doing my own thing. Probably from the pull-out sofa. No, I said. It wasn't a negotiation. It was a full stop. Absolutely not. This trip is for us. For our anniversary. I am not spending it with your best friend. I'm sorry she's having a hard time, but the answer is no. He sighed, this big, dramatic, put-upon sigh, as if I'd just asked him to donate a kidney. Okay, he mumbled, pushing his food around his plate. I just feel bad for her. The rest of the dinner was ice cold. He was clearly disappointed in my shocking lack of generosity. I was furious that he'd even asked. I thought that was the end of it. I really did. How naive I was. A week later, Chloe started her campaign. It began subtly. She started helping us plan. She'd send Liam links to these insane, 10-mile-long volcano hikes. You guys have to do this, she'd text him. It looks incredible. I have asthma. A brisk walk up a flight of stairs can leave me winded. Liam knew this perfectly well. When I pointed it out, he just shrugged. She probably just forgot, babe. She was just trying to help. Then came the restaurant suggestions. She booked a dinner for us as a surprise anniversary gift at a famous seafood restaurant. A very expensive, very famous seafood restaurant. I'm allergic to shellfish. Not just a little bit itchy, but full-on, EpiPen in my purse, my throat might close up allergic. I had told her this story myself, in vivid detail, after a close call at a work function. When I told Liam we had to cancel, he actually defended her. Come on, Anna. It was a nice gesture. There's probably something else on the menu you can eat. A salad or something. A salad. At a $500 a head seafood restaurant. For our anniversary dinner. That was my boiling point. I called the restaurant myself, canceled the reservation, and told Liam he was in charge of all future planning. The final act began 5 days before our departure. I came home from work to find Chloe sitting on our couch, surrounded by suitcases, sobbing her eyes out. Liam was sitting next to her, rubbing her back, looking panicked. What's going on? I asked, my stomach immediately twisting into a knot. It's my landlord. Chloe wailed, looking up at me with big, teary eyes that had zero actual tears in them. He said there's a black mold infestation in my building and I have to be out by tomorrow. I have nowhere to go. Black mold. Of course. The most dramatic, unverifiable, and urgent of all apartment-related calamities. I looked at Liam, and I could see the wheels turning. I could see the words forming on his lips before he even said them. She's going to stay with us, just for a few days. Until she can find a new place. So, for the 5 days leading up to our romantic getaway, we had a house guest. And not just any house guest. Chloe acted like she owned the place. She took over the living room, her clothes and makeup exploding over every surface. She used my expensive shampoo, left her wet towels on the bed, and ate the last of the ice cream I'd been saving. She was always there. If I tried to talk to Liam in the kitchen, she'd suddenly need help opening a jar. If we sat down to watch a movie, she'd squeeze in between us on the couch. 2 days before the flight, it happened. The straw that didn't just break the camel's back, it nuked the entire camel from orbit. Chloe came to Liam, again with the crocodile tears. She told him she was having severe anxiety about being left alone. That her breakup was harder than she thought. That the black mold was probably giving her respiratory problems. Then came the ultimatum. I know this is our trip, Liam began, and my blood ran cold. But Chloe is in a really bad place. She told me. She said that if you go, she can't go. She says she needs her best friend right now, and she just can't handle the idea of being alone while we're off having fun. I just stared at him. I didn't say anything. I wanted to see if he would actually finish the thought. He took a deep breath. So, I was thinking, and please don't get mad, but maybe, just this once, you could let her have this one? We can do a trip for us later. A better one. I promise. It's just, she really needs me right now. And there it was. After 3 years. After months of planning and saving. He was asking me, his girlfriend, to give up our anniversary trip so he could take his female best friend instead. He looked at me, his eyes pleading, as if he was the victim here. As if this was a reasonable request. Something inside me didn't just break, it vaporized. All the love, all the patience, all the benefit of the doubt, it all turned to ice. I looked at this man, the man I thought I might marry, and I saw a stranger. A weak, clueless boy who was so terrified of upsetting his friend that he was willing to throw me and us under the bus without a second thought. A strange calm washed over me. The anger was gone. It was replaced by a kind of cold, hard clarity I hadn't felt in years. I smiled. A sweet, understanding smile. "You know what, Liam?" I said softly. "You're right. She does need you. You should go with her. Don't worry about me. You two deserve a break. Have fun." The relief that washed over his face was disgusting. It was like a puppy that had just been told it wasn't in trouble for peeing on the rug. "Oh my God, babe, really? Thank you. You are the most understanding person I know. I'll make it up to you, I swear." "I know you will," I said. The next 48 hours, I was the perfect, supportive girlfriend. I helped Chloe pick out outfits. I gave her my new, expensive sunscreen. I even helped them pack, making sure they had everything they needed. Liam was so grateful. He kept telling me how amazing I was being. Chloe was smug. She'd won. She was walking around our apartment like the queen of the castle, barely even making eye contact with me. What neither of them knew was that the entire trip, the non-refundable first-class flights, the presidential suite at the resort, the couple's massage package, the luau tickets, had all been booked on my credit card. I had a new travel card with a huge sign-up bonus, so it made sense to put all the expenses on it. Liam had simply Zelled me his half of the cost weeks ago. A very tidy sum of nearly $5,000. The morning they left, I drove them to the airport. I hugged Liam goodbye. "Have the best time," I whispered in his ear. I even gave Chloe a stiff, one-armed hug. "Try not to get too sunburned," I said with a saccharine smile. I watched them walk through security, Chloe clinging to his arm, both of them laughing without a care in the world. I waited in the cell phone lot for exactly 1 hour, until I knew their plane was in the air and they had no way of contacting anyone on the ground. Then I started making some calls. First, to my credit card company. "Hi," I said, my voice shaking with expertly feigned panic. "I think my wallet's been stolen. I need to cancel my card immediately." The very nice man on the other end was incredibly helpful. The card was frozen in less than a minute. Second, to the resort in Kauai. "Hello," I said, my voice bright and cheerful. "I'm calling to confirm my reservation for the presidential suite under the name Anna Miller." They confirmed it. "Wonderful. Now, I just need to make a small note on the booking. My ex-boyfriend, Liam, may be arriving first with another woman. Under no circumstances are they to be allowed to check in or have access to the room. They are not authorized users. The reservation is mine, and I will be arriving later this evening. Is that understood?" There was a pause, and then a very professional, "Understood completely, Ms. Miller. We'll see you tonight." Third, to the airline. I explained that my travel companion was no longer joining me and booked a new, one-way, last-minute ticket for myself on the next flight out. Turns out, when you're flying solo, it's much easier to get an upgrade. By the time Liam and Chloe landed in Paradise, I was already checked in. The suite was breathtaking. It had a wraparound balcony, a giant jacuzzi tub, and a complimentary bottle of champagne chilling in an ice bucket. I poured myself a glass, put on the fluffy hotel robe, and went to sit outside and wait. About an hour later, I saw them. They were down at the front desk, looking confused, then annoyed, then frantic. Chloe was waving her arms. Liam was running his hands through his hair. I could see the front desk manager calmly shaking his head. After about 20 minutes of this, 2 very large men in hotel security uniforms appeared. They spoke to Liam and Chloe for a moment and then gestured, quite firmly, toward the exit. That's when I took the picture of my feet on the railing. As they were being frog-marched off the property, their suitcases trailing behind them, I hit send on that photo. I unblocked his number just in time to receive the flood. "Anna, what the hell is going on? They won't let US check in, they said you called." "My card isn't working, WTF. Answer your phone. Chloe is crying." "This isn't funny, Anna." I blocked them both again, put my phone on silent, and went for a swim. Later that night, I went to the luau I had booked for us. I ate pulled pork, watched the fire dancers, and had a lovely conversation with a family from Vancouver. I found out from a mutual friend a few days later that Liam and Chloe had to spend their first night in some disgusting motel by the airport. They couldn't get a decent hotel because every card Liam had was declined due to the massive pre-authorization holds hotels place for incidentals. They had to call his parents, humiliated, to beg for money to book a flight home the next day. I spent the next 9 days living my best life. I went snorkeling. I got that massage, both of them, back to back. I read 3 books. I made friends with a group of hilarious women on a girls' trip and ended up going bar hopping with them. For the first time in 3 years, I felt light. I felt free. I didn't realize how much psychic weight I'd been carrying until it was gone. When I got back, I had 112 missed calls and a novel's worth of angry, pleading, and finally pathetic text messages. I didn't read them. I just packed up all of Liam's things, left them in boxes outside my apartment door, and sent one final text to him. I'm keeping the security deposit. Consider it payment for the emotional damage.